Okay, so whenever you want to log in into the Salesforce account, what you can do, you can go to login.salesforce.com. There you'll be get a you need to enter username and password. There you need to enter username and password. Once you enter the username and password, it will take you into the Salesforce environment. Okay, so now once we come to the Salesforce environment, how we need to operate this environment. Okay, and we'll walk through each and every features available in a home page. So the first thing here we can see the symbol is said as app launcher. The main purpose of this app launcher is like however we purchase a mobile, there like with the mobile will be get some built-in applications, right? Similarly, coming to this cloud CRM application, that is Salesforce application, with this also will be get lot of built-in applications. Whenever you want to navigate to any built-in application, you can click on this app launcher and you can type app name. Let's suppose if you want to go to Sales Cloud or Sales Cloud features or Sales Console, you can type sales here and you can click on the sales. So like this, you can navigate to any app. So now it is opening a sales application. So coming to the, you can say, as you can see, coming to the sales application, you can see the different tabs and everything. Okay, home, opportunities, leads, tasks, files, so on. This app designed like this, and it is the home page of this application. Similarly, if you want to navigate to any other app, you can type that app name. Let's suppose if you want to navigate to marketing or service app, directly you can navigate. Whereas if you want to see the all available apps in a app launcher or Salesforce environment built in, you can click on view all. So whenever you click on view all, it will show you all the applications which are available with Salesforce. Okay, these are the applications which are available with the Salesforce. Whereas sometimes you might have a requirement like you need to install some third-party package or you need to download some third-party package into your system. Like in a basic Android phone, if you want to download some app, we'll go to Google Play Store, right? Similar, similar to that, in a Salesforce, we'll be having App Exchange. So App Exchange is a marketplace which it is like a Play Store kind of thing. It will contain all the third-party applications or applications which are developed by like custom applications which are developed by Salesforce also present in this App Exchange. In the App Exchange, we'll be having free applications along with the free applications, paid applications also be there. So if you want to take help of any App Exchange product, so for custom solutions in your Salesforce organization, you can go to App Exchange and you can install those applications into your Salesforce environment. It's about App Launcher. So after App Launcher, here you can see this bar is said as a global search bar. So it is a global search bar. By taking help of this global search bar, you can search any record present in an entire Salesforce ecosystem. So let's suppose I want to search my user. I'm typing Jakub. So if my name, if any accounts or anything is present in a system, it will give that thing in an output. You can see with the Jakub in the entire system, one user account is present, it is giving that user account. Similarly, like if any opportunity or any record also present in a Salesforce, it will give you that account. So along with the name field here, we can search email as well. So mostly in a global search, we can use text fields. Okay, like you can use an email or you can use a name, so on. Okay, so the first thing is app launcher and the second feature is search icon. With the search icon, it is a global search one. So with this, like what we can do, we can search any record which is present in a Salesforce ecosystem. Similarly, the next will be having this avatar symbol. The purpose of this avatar symbol is to log out from Salesforce, you can use it, or to change the user configurations by going into this avatar, you can change the thing as well. So now I'm clicking on avatar symbol. So whenever you click on author symbol, it will take you into your user profile. So with this, what you can do is either you can edit the user and you can edit user details as well. So if you want to upload any background picture for your user, you can do it. Or if you want to capture some photo for your user, you can do it. If you want to keep some description for your profile, you can write it here. And the remaining basic details also you can edit. While creating a user, we entered these details, right? All those details are available in this details page. Okay, with that avatar symbol, what we can do is we can go to our user. So if you click on settings, it will take us into settings page of user, personal information setting page. So from this, what we can do is we can change our personal information. We can change our details. We can change our address, our work information we can change, and work hours also we can set up by going into this user details. And not only this thing, in my personal information, you can see all these portions are present. Advanced user edition, approver settings, like that. We'll be having login history, how many times you logged in into the system, language and time zone. Like let's suppose if you're working on a Salesforce system, like let's suppose you created some account record and there the timing information is not matching. Let's suppose if you have such kind of scenario, at the time you can go to language and time zone. You can keep your local time zone and everything. So you can see, you can walk through the different features. Later we'll go through all the features. Okay. So this is my time zone information. Like that, we can change most of the user settings in this portion. Okay. We can change the password by going into this advanced user details, and we can edit and we can share the user details with the different users. And approver settings means it is related to approver process. We'll see this later. Okay. And authentication settings for external system, change my password, connections, external credentials, language and time zone, login history, personal information, reset my security token, display layout, email, everything. And these all are the different features which are which we can change by going into this avatar symbol settings. Okay. So then next, if you click on this avatar symbol, we'll be having another feature at the bottom. You can see like a switch to classic. I'm minimizing the size. Switch to Salesforce Classic. So whatever the user mode, like whatever the operating mode, here we are looking, whatever the look and feel we are looking here, that is Salesforce Lightning. Let's suppose coming to the Salesforce Lightning, as what I am doing is I'm going to service application. You can see. So initially it is loading the service application. So once you are navigated to service application, I'm going to accounts. So you can observe here, while navigating to different tabs, this website is not refreshing. If you observe this thing, I navigated to account, this website is not refreshing. Similarly, if I go to any other tab in the same app, contacts tab, let's suppose, this is again not refreshing. Means it is loading the data from local computer only. It means once you open that application, let's suppose again I'll open sales application. So sales. So at this time, it is refreshing the database. Means we are hitting the database and we are fetching the data from database. At this time, it will fetch the complete data corresponding to this application. Once you fetch the data, if you navigate to any tab, it won't hit the data, it won't hit the database several times. Okay, so it will display the data from local and local cache only. Once we load the data means it will display the data from local cache only. Okay, now let's suppose here we'll be having, so whatever the view we are looking here, that is Salesforce Lightning. That is Salesforce Lightning. Salesforce Lightning is a mobile friendly as well as user friendly. So it is much convenient to the user. Whereas whenever the Salesforce developed in the initial days, they developed a platform called Salesforce Classic, which is they developed mostly it is for desktop usage. Whereas technology is evolving day by day, and a lot of people are going to use, a lot of people currently using Salesforce in mobile application as well. So coming to the mobile compatibility, Lightning is a much user friendly. So whatever the view we are looking here, it is a classic user interface. So the classic UI also having same features of Lightning, but the UI look and feel is different. And here you can see, if you navigate to any tab or anything, always it will hit the database and it will refresh the database. You can see here, now I'm navigating to Charter. You can see it is refreshing. Means we are hitting the database and we are fetching the data from database, libraries. So whatever the tab it might be, if you go to any tab, it will hit the database and it will fetch the data. So in a real time, how the server calls will happen is, so I'll take help of whiteboard. So let's suppose if you take, it is your system. It is your system, means a Salesforce application in our terms we can consider. And here we might have some database. So always we need to display the data in a UI, we need to fetch the data from database. Always we need to fetch the data from database. So now what happens is, whenever you click on some tab or some button or something in a system, what happens is it will perform call. It will perform call. So it will request the data from a database. And for that request, this database will send a response to the system and it will display the data. So now in a Lightning, what happens is the Salesforce having a cache memory. So in a Salesforce, sorry, I'll take a different color. Okay. So now in a Lightning, what happens is in between this database and system, so there will be a cache memory. So cache memory means here what happens is, I'll change the color. So initially, if you are using a Lightning, let's suppose, so this assume the pink color line correspond to Lightning. Okay. In the Lightning, what happens is once we request the data from database, initially it will hit the database. So whenever you loaded, let's suppose, whenever you open sales application, initially it hits the Salesforce database. Once hitting the database, it will fetch the data from this database and it will store that complete data into this cache. It is an application cache. So here it will store the complete metadata in this application cache. Whenever after opening sales application, we hit the database and we stored the data in Salesforce application cache. After storing this application cache, whenever you perform some request, initially it will check in this local cache without hitting this database. So initially it will check whether the data is modified or not. If the data is not modified, it will fetch the data from cache memory and it will display in the system. Understood? So similarly, if there is no data or if there is any data changes occurs, whenever you request the data, so if there is no change, it will load the data from application cache. If there is any change in the data, then only it will go to the database and it will fetch from the database and it will load into the application cache. From there onwards, it will load into the system every time. Whereas coming to the classic, irrespective of data change and everything, so always it will go to the database and it will fetch the data from this database. So with that, what happens is in a classic, every time we'll hit the database, right? It will increase the server traffic. So it will increase the traffic on the network. So if you are increasing the traffic means the system will be a bit slower compared to Lightning. So understood this portion. It's a very, very important thing. Sridhar garu, clear?
Yes, yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yes, it's a very, very important thing coming
Yeah,
to the
yeah.
real-time operating.
Yeah.
So once again, I'll come back to the system. Yes. So now you can see it is a classic UI. Like coming to the classic UI, it will also have a same feature or similar features, but the operating way is different. Okay. So now here what happens is every time whenever you navigate to anything, it will hit the database and it will fetch the data from a database. That will happen in a classic. So now again I'll switch to Lightning experience. So we are working with the avatar symbol, right? Done. Where it is? Here it is. So from this, what we can do, we can see the settings, we can log out from a system, and what we can do is we can switch to the classic. So after these, will be,
Akib, one doubt here.
tell me.
So by default, when we log into the system, it will be in the Lightning view only, right?
Yeah,
Salesforce Lightning.
yeah, whenever you log in for the first time, it will be in a Lightning. Whereas sometimes we might see, let's suppose I am in a Salesforce system, I open Salesforce Classic. Okay, once I opened a Salesforce Classic, and now I log out from a system. So if you are
Okay.
logged out from a Classic, then whenever you log in back, it will take you into same position, same place.
Okay. It
So if
depends
you,
on the last
uh,
time
yes,
what we did.
yes, so if you are logged out with a Classic, it will take you into Classic again once you log in. If you are logged out from a Lightning, it will take you into Lightning. So that is the thing.
Yeah, clear.
Yes. So then now we'll walk through the another feature. So this is a bell icon which is used for custom notifications. So in a Salesforce, we can throw custom notifications like a reminders to the logged in user. So we can throw reminders by taking help of this custom notification. As a developer or as an admin, you can create this feature. So in a real time, I implemented this scenario in some case. The requirement is like a telecallers. Telecallers is using Salesforce system. So what they need to do is like they'll be having leads assigned to them. Once like what they'll do is they'll do the callings for the leads. So sometimes the lead whoever they called, they might said like call me at some specific time, call me at 7 p.m. At the time this telecaller needs to get an update at 7:30. So prior to the half an hour they need to get an update. So we implemented that functionality by taking help of this custom notification. You also can implement these kind of functionalities, and you can throw these notifications from development with the flows also. We can throw these custom notifications. So with this custom notifications, we can send some alerts to the users. Okay, that is about the custom notification. And coming to the next thing, this gear icon, it is a very important feature coming to the Salesforce. So this gear icon is said as a setup icon. The major purpose of this setup icon is like whenever you want to customize your Salesforce environment for all the users, we can take help of this setup icon. Okay, so whenever you want to customize your Salesforce environment, we need to take help of this setup icon. I'm going to this setup icon. So what we can customize from here, you can see we are getting several options. The first option is setup. So whenever you want to configure in your entire Salesforce application, you need to navigate to this setup. Whereas if you want to customize your service setup, so coming to the Salesforce, the major applications of Salesforce is either we can use it for sales application or sales cloud, or we can use it for service cloud. Though we'll be having several clouds like marketing cloud, commerce cloud, health cloud, the major things are sales and service clouds. So for the service cloud customization, they had another customization or another feature they added here is service setup. So if you want to configure a service console or service cloud completely, you can go to service setup and you can change it. So coming to the next, here they added a developer console. So the developer console is a Salesforce innate feature which is used to write in Apex classes. If you want to do some customization by writing a code, or if you want to query the data from Salesforce, sorry, you need to write an SOQL query. So for that, what you can do is you can go to developer console and it will take, yeah, I'll click on this. I'll show you what happens. So whenever you click on developer console, I'm opening it in a new tab. You can see, so it will show me a developer page. So here, what I can do is, here I will be having file option. By clicking on this file, we can create any new Apex class, new trigger, new Visual Force page, Visual Force component, static resources, Lightning application, Lightning Aura component, like that. These all are the things we can create. If anything is present in a system, we can open those things as well. So like that, if you want to open any Apex class, trigger, Aura component, object, static resource, any packages you install, if you want to open those also, you can open with the developer console. Whereas if you want to write any queries, we'll be having query editor. Here you can write a query. Once you write a query, it will give you the data. It will fetch the data and it will give you the data in the top. Let's suppose I'll write a query like select ID, comma, name from account. Don't worry, I'll explain you this concept very briefly in an upcoming sessions. So I'm clicking on execute. So it is giving all the account IDs and account names here. Like that, if you want to write some piece of code in a Salesforce environment, what we can do from a setup, we can navigate to developer console, and from here you can do whatever the customization you want and whatever the code you want to write. Coming to the next edit page option, though the purpose of this edit page option is if you want to configure this current page. So we are in a home page, right? So coming to the home page, they are having dashboard components like quarterly performance, assistance, today events, today tasks, like that. They'll be having few components. If you want to customize this page, not only this page, wherever you are present. So here you'll be get edit page options whenever you are in a home page or whenever you are present. Let's suppose we'll see. Now I'll go to this list view, account list view, and I'll click on setup. At this time, I'll get an option like edit object. Why means this tab is corresponding to object. That's why we are getting an option to edit the object. Whereas if you open any record of this object, so let's suppose I'll go to this accounts tab. I'll come back to this again. So I'm opening one record. Once you open the record and again you click on this, here you can see edit page or edit object option. Why means we are on an object page and it is a record detail page. That's why we are getting two options. So edit page means we can change the look and feel of this page. Edit object means we can change any fields or field views of this object. Okay, so now if you navigate to home page, it is not relevant to any object. Here you won't get any object. It will give edit page only. So by clicking on this edit page, what we can do is we can customize this page. So as I am clicking on this edit page, you can see it will take me into this page. Now you can see if you want to add any other additional component, you can add, or if you want to remove any component from this page also, you can remove that thing as it is loading still. So now I'll try to add one component so that you'll understand how it will work. Location management component. Let's suppose I want to add some component here. Yeah, here let's suppose I want to add some component. Location management component. So it is loading. Yes, it's loaded. Now I'll save this thing. So now whenever you save the page, we need to activate this page. No worries, so we'll create an app. There also we'll see this thing. But like we are discussing all the features, right? That's why I'm opening this. So now you can see whenever you are activating some page, it is asking several options. So how you need to like for which users you need to modify this app page mostly. So org default means in the entire organization, it will change for everyone. App default means it will change to, let's suppose we'll be having sales application, service application, so on, we'll be having several applications, right? So if you go to app default and if you select any specific app, the changes will replicate into that specific app only. App and profile means in a specific app, and if you select some profiles, for them only it will happen. So if you say org default means for the entire organization, it will change. So if you go to app default means assign to apps, it will ask. So whatever the app you choose, for that app, for that app only it will change. For remaining applications, it won't change. Similarly, if you go to app and profiles, so assign apps and profiles. So let's suppose I want to change it for only sales application. Let us assume homepage I want to change only for sales application. Next, it will ask profile. So coming to the profiles, I want to change it for only system admins. It means whatever the customization we did, that is available for sales application and for the system admins only. So now I'm saving it. Now it is activated. You can see once we can save it, we can come back. Now you can see if you go to the home page of the sales application, you can see this new location map component is added. Okay, location change component is added. Similarly, now we are in a sales application, right? We added it to only sales application. If you navigate to any other app, this change won't be replicated. Whatever the change we did, that won't be replicated. You can see sales console application. The remaining all the components will be same except that map component. So you can see it is a home page. Everything is same except that map component. Why it is not replicating means while changing that, we are assigned it to only specific app and specific profile. Clear with this?
Yes, Jakub. One question here. So
Huh.
you said like it's a specific role, right? Like admin.
No,
So by
specific profile I
default,
choose. Huh.
yeah, profile.
Huh.
So by default, it will be admin, system admin for all the profiles, or we need to
No,
create.
see, while creating a user, there will select a profile, right? So in a real time, what happens? We'll be having lot of users. Let's suppose you're working for some
Okay.
company, there might be 1,000 users. So on the 1,000 users, there might be only or 10 or 50 members might be admins, system admins. So whenever you do this kind of configurations, what we did, we set up an application like a sales, and we set up a profile like system admin. Means whoever the system admins, like we are having 50 system admins, right? For that 50 users only, that feature is added, that component is added, that UI will be changes. Whereas coming to the remaining 950 people, that UI won't change for the same applications, for the same application. Make
Yes,
sense?
got it.
Ha,
Yeah.
that will happen. That is a beauty. Okay. So now whenever you come to this setup icon, you can see this setup is a very important thing. From this setup, what we can do is we can configure our entire Salesforce environment. So now I came to this Salesforce setup. So now here from a home page, you can configure your entire Salesforce environment. So you can like we'll be having different portions. These are the basic settings and the admin settings. Like that, we'll be having platform tool settings. Similarly, we'll be having settings like that. So we can change 100% organization changes here. So if you want to configure any changes in a system, we can go to this setup from the home page. We can configure any changes. In the future, we'll do all the configure changes from a setup only. So now coming to the here, we'll be having object manager. The purpose of object manager is if you want to create any new database table in a Salesforce system, or if you want to create any new fields in any database, what you can do is you can go to this object manager. From this, we can create database tables. So coming to the Salesforce terminology, database table is nothing but object. Columns in a database table is nothing but fields. Sorry. Yeah. So by coming to the object manager, also will be get lot of standard objects. Standard objects means standard database tables which are available with the Salesforce. Whereas if you want to create any new database table from a setup, you can come to object manager. From there, you can go to create And from here, you can create a custom object. As we can create a custom database table in two ways. One way is a manual approach, and the second way is by uploading the data with some Excel spreadsheet. So with that also, we can create a database table in a Salesforce system. Schema Builder is another feature. We'll walk through this while discussing Object Manager briefly. So we are discussing a feature called setup. The purpose of setup is to optimize, to change the entire configurational changes in a system, or to create any database tables, or to customize existing database tables as well. For that, we'll take help of setup. The next, we'll be having Salesforce help. The purpose of Salesforce help is, so if you want to learn any new topics, or if you want to navigate to Salesforce Trailhead, or if you want to find any resources, or if you want to take any support from a Salesforce, you can go to this help and trainings. From there, you can find that help materials, and Salesforce help also you'll get from a get support. The next, here you can see this guidance center. So coming to the guidance center, they'll give you some suggestions. So if you want to learn some concepts, or like some tips you need to follow, and some trends which are added into the Salesforce, that things will be added to this learning, like guidance center. Mostly these guidance centers and Salesforce help, we won't use. The most of the things will use this setup, and sometimes we'll use this feature as well, global actions. The major purpose of this global actions is, so now we are in a object page, right? From this object page, immediately I need to create one lead record. At that time, without navigating to lead page, here from a global actions, we can go to new lead, and we can create a new lead. So this feature is available. So the global action is a feature. The major purpose of this global actions is, so irrespective of where you are working, let's suppose in a support, people will work upon different cases. While working on some other case, they need to create a new case. At the time, they should not go to that, they should not change that page, and they should not go to, so let's suppose, I'll show you clearly. So now I'm going to sales application. Now, let's suppose I'm working on some lead. So now I'm navigating to leads page. It is the leads page. Let assume I am working on some lead. So now, while working upon lead, I might call that lead. That lead might said, I am facing so and so problem. At that time, immediately I need to create a case. So for that, if you want to create it in a standard approach, what we need to do is, we need to navigate to cases tab. So here some cases tab might be available. So we need to go to cases tab, and we need to create it. So to avoid that problem, what we can do is, while staying on the same lead page, you can go to global actions. From global actions, without changing this page, you can click on, sorry, we need to create a new case, right? So you can click on global actions, new case, and from here directly you can create a case without changing this page, without going out of this page. We can create any records. So standardly they added few features, whereas additionally you want to add some features also, we can customize it from a setup. From setup, we can add additional features to this global actions as well. So coming to this next thing, it is about adding some records as favorites. So in future, I want to open this lead from a different pages. So at the time, if you mark it as a favorite, so how many records you mark it as a favorites? In a future, you can navigate to these favorites from anywhere. So now let's suppose I'm in a account page. I'll open some account record. So now I'll go to my favorites. So I make it as a favorite. Now what I'll do is I'll click on here. So if you click on this drop down, you can see two records. So though we are not in a leads page, we can able to open that leads record from this page. That is about this favorites. So favorites is a feature. With this feature, what we can do is, like, we can navigate to your favorite records from where you are present. Okay, that is about the features of Salesforce. So do you guys clear with the basic features of Salesforce now?
Yeah.
So Apple,
Yes,
these are the major features. The next will be having Lightning Chrome extension. It's a Chrome extension which I added. With this, we can show and hide the components. I'll check whether it is available in a setup or not. So I'm going to set up. As I told you, like whenever you want to configure something or whenever you want to change something, we need to come to the setup. So now here, what I'll do is I'll type Chrome extension. So Lightning extension, you can see in a user interface. Directly, I'm checking it from search. So as you can see, it is a Lightning extension. At the bottom, you'll be, so for the first time you're doing, so you can see here often, Google Chrome, get started, download Lightning extension. So if you're using Google Chrome, you can download this extension. The purpose of this extension is, now we are in a Salesforce record page, right? Let's suppose I'm in a lead page. Now, what I did is I clicked on this component. By taking help of this Lightning extension, what we can do is we can show and hide some components. Let's suppose I want to hide this component. So here, component visibility. I want to hide this component. So for me, this component will be hidden. Now you can see this. I won't be able to see this component. Similarly, if you want to show and hide any component by taking help of this Lightning extension, you can do it. Whereas if you want to make it visible again, you can make it visible. Like that, we'll be having several features of this Lightning Chrome extension. Okay. So this is a add-on benefit. Like if you install this extension, you can show and hide some components. So with this, I'm stopping for today. Tomorrow, yeah. So yeah, can you able to connect again? I'll explain you how to create a user as well today. So as the sessions are for 40 minutes regularly. So like means one session will be for 40 minutes only. It is not a paid one. Can you able to connect again or shall we continue tomorrow?
You want to connect again?
For the 5 minutes only.
Yeah.
Yeah. So please join with the same link.
Mm.